separate warning, we should say, but we're calling it, the second cell, or it's basically the second warning in there in Pasco County. So I'm calling this Weather Batch 1, Weather Batch 2, which is moving in towards Tarpon Springs, and this is the one we've been talking about a lot as well. And then there's number 3. I apologize for my scribble. It's hard to write on a map as we're on the air, so you get the idea. So there are 3 distinct areas of severe weather. Well, one which is already severe in Pasco County, but an additional 2 which we've identified as very possibly could become again severe weather and potentially warned, particularly this one. A lot of lightning with it, and it continues to move towards Tarpon Springs and moving in towards Dunedin, get into the act, and again, northern Pinellas, northern Hillsborough, you're not too far away here. Let me throw the tracker on that while I have that up, and we'll take a peek. It's not going to be that long. You have a little more time with this second cell than you obviously do with the first one, which we've been tracking here. So Tarpon Springs, you're about 3:26. So you have almost an hour in Tarpon Springs before this comes ashore at 15 miles an hour. Carrollwood section of Tampa at about 4:27, 4:52 in Temple Terrace as well. So we've been talking about that. And then likely not going to see the same significance or potentially severity in Thanota-Sasso or Zephyr Hills after 5 o'clock. But should this stay together, that's likely the track and the timing that it will be on going forward here over the next hour or so. So you have been watching our continuing coverage here of a tornado warning, actually now 2 warnings. Myself, meteorologist James Hopkins, here in the Weather Center as well. And it's been a busy afternoon here once the warnings popped. So about 2 o'clock was the first warning, and we're covering now the second iteration of it, also in Pasco County, James.
Yeah, and the thing about, we're talking about how rain wrapped this is, and they just popped up the traffic camera there, which you couldn't even tell, it was all gray. But the intensity, precipitation rate 2.38 inches per hour. That is the rain that is along the coast right now that is moving its way in. You see, there is Jasmine Estates, there's Hudson, and that's where I just queried that one, and even up to the north. And this is following right along Highway 19, where again, showed you the camera from Honda Newport Richey, and it's showing a lot of traffic out there. But you see now, and here's another one. You move your way up towards Hernando Beach, and it's 2.74 inches per hour. So that is a heavy rain. So again, with this embedded in there, that's why it makes it so dangerous to be out there. We'll go back on and turn on your velocity, and you can still see that rotation there, and you still see the bright green and the dark red right next to it. This is where you're seeing the rotation right now. And again, that looks like to be the center of it. It's still in Pasco County, but it's pretty close, again, to moving its way out of Pasco County. And the tornado warning does include Hernando County. So this is going to include Spring Hill, Hudson, Timber Pines around 2:30. And that's where it just moved its way through. It looks like it's going to be moving its way. Other locations impacted by this tornadic thunderstorm include Shady Hills and Bayonet Point, which it does look like it's already moved through there as well. And again, we're showing you this traffic camera here. That is on the left of the screen. That's near Shady Hills. That's State Route 589. And that's where I was just showing you, again, some of the very heavy rainfall that's going on right now. And that is why it's not good to be driving. And again, the traffic camera just showed you on 589 and near Shady Hills is here. That's not even the heaviest rain that you're seeing, which again is along 19. So you can imagine that camera looks like that. You can imagine what it is driving up Highway 19 between Hernando Beach and Hudson right now, and even all the way down to Jasmine Estates. So again, this is going to be rain wrapped. So unfortunately, you're out driving around, you're going to run right through that, and you're not even going to be able to see what's coming. So we're seeing some winds, again, with this at 30 to 40 miles per hour. Take a look at that. And again, you really can't see anything out there if you're out driving around. So not good out there as we're seeing the heavy rain. And now, again, looking at Honda of Port Richey, you're seeing kind of the same thing, the heavy rain. Of course, it's a little easier to see on this camera, but you can see how wet the camera is, the heavy rain coming down. And again, looking out over the area, that is where it comes into Highway 19. What you're seeing coming into the left of the screen is Highway 19 that we're coming up to now. So you can kind of see some of the heavy rain that we're dealing with across the area. And luckily, it looks like there. Now, this Honda of Port Richey is south of where that tornado pushed, where the water spout pushed its way onshore. So again, still seeing that heavy rain across the area with some of that rotation. It moved its way through Hudson already, and it is now, again, looks like it's near the Shady Hills area. And yeah, there it is. You can easily see that rotation. It's crossed its way over 19. Looks like Denton Avenue, Hayes Road, approaching County Line Road, which again runs between 589 and 19. It looks like it should be there shortly, and you can see where Shady Hills is as well. Again, put back the query on this to see some of the winds that we're seeing. There's velocity at 35 miles an hour and then 29 miles an hour. So again, you're seeing that rotation push its way, and it looks like it's coming up there. County Line Road, of course, is right there in northern Pasco County. It is continuing to move its way towards the east-northeast, and at latest check, that was at about 15 miles an hour. And again, this is going to be heavily rain-wrapped, so if you're out driving around, that's going to be dangerous.
James, I'm on mic 8 for the guys in the back. So far, we don't have any reports of damage, touchdowns, anything like that. We do have one report. Looks like there may have been a funnel cloud up near Spring Hill. We can't see the ground with radar because of the trees and buildings, obviously. But what we've seen is this rotation, and so anytime you see that rotation, it is possible that it can drop down a tornado. And that picture right there over Denton Avenue, that's what we would look for rotation. And so that particular cell could be skipping a little tornado around the area. And so that's why we want to keep a very close eye on that one. But no official reports yet. That's good news.
Yeah, that is good news. And again, as mentioned, whenever this did push its way onshore, it was radar indicated, and James Guerrero's been walking over there checking the Slack feed that we have with the National Weather Service to see if there was any reports. And like you said, there hasn't been any reports.
We need to take a look at that Clearwater Beach camera. That is a gust front coming through there. You can see it now. That's going to get some pretty good storms coming through the area for Clearwater Beach. There it is now. This is part of the southern end of all this line. No warning for that particular cell that you're seeing right there, but
yeah, looks good.
That's good.
And
right?
obviously, folks on the beach should probably be exiting the beach, seeing that gust front about to come in. And we were talking about that before. There were still folks walking out on the pier when they should have been walking the other direction. So not something you want to mess with. So stay safe this afternoon. Just tune into us here at 10 Tampa Bay News. We have team coverage with Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskin here now, and as well as James and myself guiding you through this afternoon. So it's going to be a busy afternoon, I think, for a little bit.
Well, and the thing about we were talking about Clearwater is while we were watching this first cell move its way in, we were saying that the problem with people out there on Clearwater Beach, there was no lightning. All that cell that we're seeing offshore now has lightning in it.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So again, when you see something like this, you shouldn't be walking out onto the pier. You should be walking the other direction into your car or a place of safety or your hotel or your home or your apartment or whatever, and sort of ride out the storm from a spot of safety, not on a pier or on the beach. So let's be smart here this afternoon. So,
so let's go back to the velocity, and this is the one that James and I have been talking about, the one that's not warned right now. If you go back to my graphics, you'll see that there is rotation. I showed you this earlier, and it wasn't nearly this impressive, but look at that rotation now. So we're going to watch for this one. Like the last one, till it gets about 5 miles closer to the coast. This one, after reading the special marine warning, this one is actually moving at about 15 miles an hour, where the last one was moving at about 10 miles an hour. So you can see Palm Harbor at 3:45, so another hour away. So this one is still moving rather slow, but this is what we'll watch to see if it holds together. Now,
it's tough to track these time-wise at this point, right?
Exactly, until we get a little closer to the coast. But again, this is the same thing. This is the radar shooting up into the atmosphere, seeing that rotation. This doesn't mean there's a water spout out there. It doesn't mean that we can really see anything until we get some actual spotter information out there. But, and again, like Bobby just mentioned, we're not seeing any reports from spotters that there actually is a tornado on ground near Shady Hills. What we're seeing is rotation on the radar. And again, and I have yet to see anything hit that severe thunderstorm criteria of 60 miles per hour. We've seen a lot of 30s, even some into the 40s with the velocity on this wind. But again, it can still be damaging. So that is the reason why we have that tornado warning that goes until 3 o'clock.
We have a CC. I'm going to hit the correlation coefficient on that right there, a CC. There you go. Let's go back a couple frames. Just drag that back. I want to see if it's trying to pick up on anything there, because you can see that cell coming on shore. And what we're looking for here is to see, go over towards the Hudson area, zoom in right on Hudson, and then drag that thing a little bit forward in time. And you're going to see some lighter dots. So those lighter colors of red, the kind of pink there. That potentially could be some debris that's getting picked up. Kind of tough to tell. It actually could be a little bit of hail in there as well. Nothing major that what we would call a debris ball, which indicates that we do have a tornado on the ground and it's picking up like the limbs and whatever. I don't see anything major there, but it does look a little suspect. So, you know, just kind of adds to the weight of the fact that we're looking at least that chance for a spin up. And there's the hail that's coming with it, and that's probably what we're seeing more than anything else in that CC that we're looking at.
Yeah, we were looking at the CC offshore, and it was showing, and you actually go back to the hail tracker that was a couple, I'm talking about not a couple now, at 11 a.m., hail size was an inch when that was offshore. That was very strong. It has some good rotation on it, but now still looking at the potential for quarter-size hail. And again, we look for that, the CC, correlation coefficient, is because what the radar does, it picks up things that are different sizes, and that typically is what shows whenever it's picking up debris. But it does look like that does follow right along with this hail that is moving its way through. And again, this is not severe hail. This looks like about pea size, maybe a tad bit bigger. But again, it is still hail, especially if you're going to be out driving around where you're seeing that. And that's kind of right there in the center where we're seeing that circulation. So you see, there is your circulation here. You see right now East Road north of Denton Avenue moving its way towards County Line. This is just to the west of Shady Hills. And again, moving its way kind of at an east-northeast. But again, you go back and you look at the CC, you do see some of those lighter areas, and that goes right along with kind of where that hail is as well. So we're seeing heavy rain, gusting winds, and some hail. And we are, again, the rotation that we're seeing is on the radar. Haven't gotten any reports yet of anybody actually seeing anything or anything touching the ground. But again, this tornado warning goes for another 12 minutes as it's going to continue to push its way kind of towards the east-northeast. And again, go back to the velocity, and there is East Road, and looks like it's right there north of Denton Avenue, moving its way towards Shady Hills and kind of an intersection there at County Line Road, where we can see this here probably over the course of the next 5 or so minutes. So again, you see Shady Hills Road, County Line Road. This is your rotation right here, and it's moving its way kind of in this direction here, and you just saw that kind of update. So it's moving its way kind of in this direction. Just to the west there of 589. But again, it's moving at about 15 miles an hour. And again, this is radar indicated rotation that we're seeing here. But it is some gusting winds, some heavy rain, and again, even some hail in this system right here as it's pushing its way in. So you can see now, again, a lot more lightning that it had when it first moved its way onshore. So again, there is your tornado warning box just right outside of Shady Hills. And it did kind of shift a little bit as it moved its way onshore. When it was offshore, it was moving directly to the east at 10 miles an hour. It hit onshore, and now it's moving more towards the northeast. James?
Yeah, so James, not only that particular cell that we've been watching and tracking that has warranted 2 separate tornado warnings, there's the other southern cell, which isn't that far south, by the way, that's going to affect Tarpon Springs, starting to move in here. Again, this is not a tornado warned cell. These are some strong thunderstorms, though, and some heavy downpours with frequent lightning. That's area number 2 that I'm watching closely. Area number 3, which is fairly substantial as well, is the trailing edge of all of this, and that looks fairly formidable as well. This will continue sliding off to the east. So the second and third round, if you will, for lack of a better terms, are essentially more so Pinellas County, southern Pasco into, let's call it central Pinellas, and that third area essentially is a little further to the south, which will likely sweep in towards St. Pete. And that's the one where both of these in conjunction could sweep in towards Tampa, in towards Brandon. Fishhawk could get into the act, even as far as Lutz and maybe Alafaya as well. So we'll see if that continues sweeping that far at this intensity as well. Frequently, as James and I were talking about earlier, when they start to move ashore, they do start to weaken a little bit. We've seen some weakening, but
Hey, James.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pop up the Clearwater Beach
Okay.
camera right now
All right.
because that cell, that's a look at it right now.
Look at that.
You're talking about.
So we're the nice little shelf cloud there, right?
Yeah, definitely a shelfie going on right
Yep.
there. You notice as I pan this off to the right, that's where the shelf cloud really starts to show up.
Yep.
I'm kind of watching the left side of that for any rotation. Actually, on the very left side of your screen, I could go back just a little bit. That's where we would be watching for potential water spout. And you can see some of those clouds dropping down a little bit.
Yeah.
Nothing there right now.
But it sees there's two almost little vortices trying to drop right there.
Yeah, little scud clouds
Yep.
coming out of that. And then you see the shelf cloud itself. That's that roll cloud kind of right there in the middle. And then initially, at least the last frame that we had going over Dunedin, and I'm going to get the, I'll speed up a little bit, but we had some pretty good rotation. The very last frame that we got in, the rotation was not as bad. And that's going to be coming up here on the right-hand side of your screen, and I don't see anything dropping down out of that, but that is that line getting into Dunedin right now. So you do expect some gusty winds with this. This is not a 55, 65 mile per hour wind situation here. This is a potential tornado because of the rotation that we're seeing here today.
Yeah, and you know what, Bobby, what we were also tracking, we were taking a 3D slice, this is sort of lower top convection. We didn't see anything over 30,000 feet, really. So I think that's another reason why we're not talking about much in the way of hail or even substantial size hail.